And thank you, everybody, for joining today's Retirement Genius Brainstorm webinar. I'm Chris Orestis, the president of Retirement Genius, and I thank you for joining us today. We're going to be discussing the unique challenges that face women in retirement. There's some very big differences between what men and women experience leading up to retirement and then in retirement. We want to talk about some of those challenges and then some of the solutions that you can be bringing to the table with clients. There's real opportunities here to address these issues, and that's what we're going to focus on today. Retirement Genius is an information and resource platform to help people achieve a well-balanced retirement. We provide financial solutions, health and long-term care security solutions, and lifestyle solutions so people can inform themselves and access resources to help them build and achieve a well-balanced retirement. Let's start by taking a look at the longevity differences between men and women in this country. Right now, U.S. life expectancy, which has actually declined over the last couple of years, is measured at 76.6 years, with men living 75.1 years and women 81.2 years. It's a significant difference in life expectancy between men and women, which is why if you visit an assisted living community, a nursing home, you will see a large population of women compared to men that are in residence. As of today, a 65-year-old male has a 35% chance of living to age 90, whereas a female has a 46% chance of living to age 90. And there's some unique challenges that are facing women as they're in the workforce and building up and taking their years towards getting ready for retirement. They face discrimination in the workforce. They'll face harassment in the workforce. There's compensation inequity and the potential for prolonged career interruptions during the time that they're raising families. As of today, according to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, women earn 83 cents to every dollar that a man earns. And since 2020, over the last 2 years, 2 million women have left the workforce. Women make up over half of the Social Security population. And the problem with this income inequity and people who leave the workforce, interruptions in women's work years, is that puts them behind where men are in accruing the work credits they need to get to the top of the Social Security benefit scale when they start collecting Social Security. So there's already early strikes against them trying to achieve a retirement. On average, women save $57,000 for retirement, whereas men more than double what they have saved for retirement on an average across this country. In fact, a quarter of women have less than $10,000 saved. Regarding the longevity issue, almost half of women will be widowed or divorced within 11 years of reaching retirement age. Between a third and half of women have no formal retirement plan or any idea of the amount of money they're going to need to live on in retirement. That's a real opportunity for advisors to be able to address that gap. Only 19% of women are confident that they could retire without running out of money, whereas men more than double are confident at 41% that they could retire without running out of money. 31% of women cannot afford to save for retirement, and 19% of women can't even afford their monthly cost of living. So some real challenges for women as they're even considering planning for retirement and understanding what they're going to need, and then the ability to put away the necessary amount of money to sustain a retirement at a decent level. So while women are working, they should certainly be taking full advantage of getting as much work hours in. They want to be building up those work credits towards their Social Security benefit. They want to be doing all they can to put everything into 401ks, IRAs, health savings accounts, and they should be also planning for the uncertainties of the future with insurance, life insurance, long-term care insurance, and annuities. These are all areas where agents and advisors have opportunities to help women address their shortfalls and create opportunities in your practice to work with them to better prepare for their retirement. It's important also that they understand and make full utilization of the financial and retirement vehicles that are in place that can help them overcome many of these shortfalls in retirement. I want to spend a few minutes covering a variety of entitlement-based, financial planning-based, and asset-based ways that women can do more to help overcome their shortfalls in retirement beyond what they would be doing in their working years. Once they've hit retirement, there's a number of areas that can help them overcome some of these shortfalls, starting with Social Security. One, as is the case with anybody who's going to collect Social Security, I always recommend delaying taking it as long as possible. Remember, if you're taking your benefit at 62, you're going to be locking in the least amount that you're entitled to versus if you can wait till you hit age 70, where you would lock in the highest amount that you could possibly be taking. But if a woman is a widow, she and was married for 10 years or more, is able to collect the higher benefit amount of her deceased spouse, if that in fact is the case, and if divorced, can collect on their ex-spouse's benefit if they were married for 10 years or more and she's unmarried at the time that they become Social Security eligible. Another entitlement area to make sure you're getting right is Medicare. Medicare eligibility begins at age 65 and is individual coverage. A lot of people don't realize that this is not group coverage. So every woman can select the right Medicare coverage to meet her budget and her healthcare needs, and on an annual basis. And not enough people do this. It's always surprising to me how few people at the annual open enrollment period will review their Medicare coverage, look at other options, and see, are there adjustments that could be made to better address their healthcare needs and better address their budgetary needs. When it comes to Medicaid, there is spousal impoverishment protections. So if somebody is spending down for Medicaid and their spouse, let's say the woman, is not going on Medicaid, she is protected from being impoverished through that spend down period. She'll be able to continue to live in their home, own a car, and receive income that's considered separate from their spouse. Also, a Medicaid compliant annuity could be looked at as a way to set up a guaranteed income stream for the spouse who's not going on to Medicaid, while the other is receiving care over an actuarial predetermined time frame. Remember, that's important. With a Medicaid compliant annuity, it is set up to provide income for a specific actuarial determined time frame. Another entitlement area is the VA aid and attendance benefit. If a woman served in the military, she is entitled potentially to the VA aid and attendance benefit to help with disability or long-term care costs. If she's married to a deceased veteran, she also is entitled to collect the VA aid and attendance benefit. So another area that can help a woman overcome shortfalls in her retirement preparation. On the retirement account side, don't forget that a widow can inherit their spouse's IRA and then roll it over into their own account on a tax-deferred basis. And this is an opportunity where advisors can be very helpful to their clients in this situation to assist the rollover and set it up to, based on age, to start managing the required minimum distributions correctly. When it comes to pensions, don't forget that a spouse can be named as a survivor pension benefit collector if the pensioner themselves passes away. So you can be a survivor on a pension and collect that benefit past your spouse's lifetime. Reverse mortgages is an asset-based way to help people address a shortfall in care. Remember that if a couple who own a home take out a reverse mortgage, a surviving spouse can continue to live in that home and not have to pay back the mortgage while they're still living in the home. So a mortgage that's taken out potentially to benefit one person's needs, the other person is not going to be a victim of being prematurely having to leave their home if their spouse dies. They can continue to stay in the home. They could continue to benefit from the income from the reverse mortgage. They don't need to make any payments back on that reverse mortgage until they themselves have vacated the property for one reason or another. And remember, annuities are another asset-based way to set up a guaranteed income stream for a spouse, and annuities obviously have survivor benefits to continue making those guaranteed payments after a spouse dies. So an annuity not only could be set up to benefit directly a spouse, but could continue to benefit someone after the annuitant has passed away. Life insurance is important. I've seen many instances where a life insurance policy death benefit paid out and made a huge difference for the surviving spouse, which of course is going to be paid out tax-free. So it's never a good idea to overlook insurance, life insurance, and what that can do, particularly with the high number of women that will live beyond men and for a considerable number of years on their own. That life insurance death benefit can make a huge difference. But for those circumstances where a life insurance policy is not going to be kept, it's going to be lapsed or surrendered, then tapping into its life settlement value is another way that funds could be put in place for the spouse that can be there if they need retirement or long-term care funds in a tax-advantaged way. A life insurance policy that's not going to be kept should never be lapsed or surrendered because it could be settled for its fair market value, and that money could be very, very valuable to the surviving spouse. So let's remember, women have longer life expectancies than men. Many are going to live for a number of years beyond their spouse on their own. So when doing retirement planning, this reality shouldn't be ignored. You as advisors should be taking into account the pragmatic reality that for many couples, the female spouse is going to live beyond the male spouse, and there needs to be appropriate protections in place for that situation. So obviously, as we say, take full advantage of all the income producing years to save and invest as much as possible and to be earning as high as possible Social Security benefits for the future. Planning with insurance and annuities is an important opportunity that agents and advisors can be putting on the table, helping to maximize entitlements, Medicare open enrollment, another important area that agents and advisors can help, understanding how to leverage assets for income and the eventual costs of long-term care, another area where agents and advisors can be helping clients and helping to grow their practice using this variety of tools and approach to helping women better prepare for the realities of their retirement. Securing the keys to a well-balanced retirement is important for everybody, and women should not be left behind. So the opportunity is there for you. The information is there for you to use. We encourage you to get out there and do all you can to not overlook a very overlooked opportunity. What to be done to make sure that women, either on their own or as a couple in a spouse in a couple, are appropriately prepared for the realities of what they're going to face in their retirement years. I want to thank you all very much for joining us again today for a Retirement Genius Brainstorm webinar. I encourage you to visit us at retirementgenius.com and our advisors-specific website, advisors.retirementgenius.com. We want to work with you. We want to have you using our program to do all you can to help your clients build a well-balanced retirement, put another profit center into your practice. We have a tip sheet available on this subject. Just reach out, let us know. We'll send it your way. And as always, I encourage you to listen into the Retirement Genius podcast anywhere you get your podcasts. You'll find the Retirement Genius podcast under Retirement Genius. We thank you so much for joining us today. We look forward to working with you and talking to you again on our next Retirement Genius Brainstorm webinar coming up real soon.